Welcome to Learning Activity 6. The good news is you're halfway through, and the better news is this is a really fun learning activity. So what the plan for this one is for you to look at physical and digital resources that can be used to help teach science in the classroom. You're also going to create a video based on everything that you do in this particular unit, and then kind of pull together how you think science could be better impacted by the more effective use of these resources. So looking down through, you can read through those directions. Obviously we have the checklist as we always do. I've divided this up into 3 parts. It is most effective if you go through them in order. So for part 1, we have an article. We have 2 articles that you'll actually follow through and read. And what we have in that one, you have questions that are associated with that learning activity. Alright, so the overview is listed in this section. And once you open it up, it has the details about each of your articles. I'm just going to pop over here and show you. You're going to need to go into NSTA. This is the author, Cook and Buck, are the 2 authors. This is the title of the resource, the article itself. This is what journal it's in. So you're going to look for these in NSTA. That's what one of the things your membership allows. And as you find them, read through them, they're fairly short. Kind of think about these questions related to the photo voice article. You might want to jot down some notes as you're going through it, but it's more about how do these resources benefit all types of learners, and I think that these should help you think a little more deeply about that. So that's part 1. You've got your notes, you're taking through that one. And then we're going to go into, across the top here, part 1. I even included the articles for you because I know sometimes people have trouble getting access to everything. So let's go back to Learning Activity 6. We're going to shrink that one. And we're going to look at what part 2 includes. So I want you to find a person or an organization that can come to your school and help your students learn or become more engaged in science. But I also want you to look at an app. I don't want you to choose an app that you use every day in your classroom, because the purpose of this is for you to learn something new. I don't want you to use a website. Most classrooms have some type of technology that the students can actually go online and play a game. So what I'm looking for, I've got a list of resources here. Page 1 is just for you to sign up, and eventually I'll get down here to the bottom of the page. So it has a list of apps. These are some that you might actually choose from. Some of these have been used in the past. If you come across one that doesn't work anymore, please let me know. I try to keep it as updated as possible, but some things come in that I don't always know about, and some things go away that I don't always catch. But choose one of these and put your name over here to the side so no one goes ahead and takes it. And then go back to the sign up sheet on the first page. Put your name, the tech or the app resource that you've chosen, and what physical resource that you want to use. And once you've done that, I'm just backtracking my way back into this. Okay. Part 2 has the expectations of what you need to write up and complete for each of these resources. So if you notice, as always, I give you traditional expectations and hangout group expectations. Depending on what you're doing, follow through those. I have within the first 3 days. This is only a week-long unit, so it might be beneficial for you to try and have at least one of those resources reviewed and posted within the first 3 days, simply because you have to give other people time to review the work that you've put in there. Okay. So again, we have the same information on that. And now let's go down to part 3. So once we've looked at all of these different resources, and I'll probably give you some examples of how the apps were written up in the past, but I want you to choose one of these resources here. And we're going to the description for part 3. Tells you a little bit more of what the actual goal is for this. You can go and find these on your own. You can even find another article that could be beneficial, but I want it to have something to do with exposure to technology or physical resources or things like that that will be beneficial for your classroom. So once we're there, I've included a couple of copies of articles for you as well. But I'm going to scroll down, close this one. I think most of you knew you could do it that way. But as I go down to the bottom, I'm asking you for a public service announcement. Oh my goodness, what is that? This is the last thing you're going to do for this learning activity. This is going to be first. So as I go into Learning Activity 6, Discussion Forum, there are 2 different spaces. So remember the column where I had traditional discussion and hangout discussion? This is where you will actually go in and post those reviews. Now let's come back to this PSA. You've used video in the past, so that's kind of, I want you to do the same thing. This is something that I'm going to see, and rather than having you write a big long paper about how all of these things connect to one another, I want you to tell me about it. I want you to emphasize the particular resource that you saw, how the articles helped you understand how to use it better. There is a rubric for this PSA that you should have access to view, and it tells you exactly what I'm looking for that public service announcement. So hopefully this is going to help you get a little more prepared. And as always, let me know if you have questions.